My name is Kate Sampson, and I am the Sea Turtle Stranding and Disentanglement Coordinator for NOAA Fisheries here in Gloucester. So I cover the whole region, which is Maine through Virginia, and I'm not on the ground responding to sea turtles that are stranded. Some people ask what is stranded? What does that mean? It just means that the animal is hurt or injured or even dead. It cannot return back to its normal habitat on its own. I manage the whole network of organizations that are out there responding to animals. So sometimes those are aquariums, sometimes they're non-profit organizations, or they can even be state agencies throughout the coast. People that know that there are turtles in Massachusetts oftentimes do because of cold-stunned turtles being in the news. Cape Cod, as most people know from around here, has this perfect shape, just like this. It's a big hook. And so it actually traps the turtles that are in the area throughout the Massachusetts coast, but also throughout the Gulf of Maine. So the Gulf of Maine is a larger area that runs from Nova Scotia to the north down to Cape Cod, and that whole area is considered the Gulf of Maine. There's turtles throughout that area during the summer and early fall. When the water temperatures cool down in the fall, as they always do, those turtles really should move south. They need to move into warmer waters to overwinter. But unfortunately, Cape Cod, being such a perfect trap shape, seems to delay their migration just long enough that the water cools too much and they become what's called cold stun, which is basically like having hypothermia for a person. Everything just slows down. They stop eating, their breathing becomes really slow, their heart rate becomes really slow. They no longer, their organs are not operating like they normally would. Everything's sort of shutting down, and their immune system's not working properly either. So when they come on shore, it's been oftentimes weeks of really slowly cooling down and just becoming more and more debilitated and thin, and then they finally wash up on shore very sick, and they need immediate attention to survive. So my job is to go out and talk to state coordinators, talk to other rehab groups, and figure out who has space for these turtles. And then once I find a place to send them, I have to figure out how to get them there. So we work with an organization called Turtles Fly 2, which is a nonprofit that brings private pilots together to fly for this effort. And the data piece is really important because, of course, I work for a management agency, so we want to better understand the threats that are facing sea turtles. And to do that, we try to get as much information from each of these strandings as possible. So the organizations are out there collecting this data, and the clearinghouse for that data, where it all goes, is here at NOAA Fisheries. So when a sea turtle strands, there's some basic information that we'll collect, such as stranding location, stranding date, the species of the turtle, and then a lot of measurements to determine what age class they are, and then doing a thorough exam of the turtle, both externally and when possible internally for dead animals, of course, to try to determine why it's stranded. That's some of the most important piece, is why did these animals end up on our beaches? And sometimes it's obvious externally. We can have injuries that obviously were caused by a propeller from a boat, let's say. So that one is really easy. But you could have an animal that looks perfectly healthy, but unfortunately it's dead and washed up on a beach, and that's a little bit more challenging, so we collect as much information as we can. And when I went to the New England Aquarium, I met sea turtles for the first time. That was where I really started to work with them and get a feel for what sea turtles were all about, and I never thought of working with sea turtles actually before then. And I just fell in love with them because they just all have their own individual personality. They can survive through amazing injuries, and they can be nearly dead. I mean, a sea turtle, when it comes in from cold stunning, it have 1 heartbeat per minute, and so it seems it's not moving. It seems like it's dead. Sometimes they can even start to get stiffened a little bit, and yet it'll come back and survive and be released months down the line after some medical treatment. So they're survivors.